Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everybody. If you've never tuned in before and this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the JW Live. I say it all the time. I'm not a minister, I'm not a pastor, I'm not some man of the cloth. I'm just a simple everyday guy that comes on and shares his experience, strength, and hope. I say it all the time. My opinion, we can debate it all day, all year, but my experience is not up for debate because my experience is factual. So I share my experience, strength, and hope in hopes that somebody gets something out of it. Hopefully that, it would be something that might be life-changing or life-saving for somebody else, because it sure as heck helped save and change my life, these experiences and these solutions to my experiences. Now, in saying that, today's topic is rejection and protection. Rejection and protection. Now, you might say to yourself, okay, so Jonathan, how does that come into play in my life? Well, when you think about the word rejection, is to actually say no. To say nope to whatever it is you're requesting, to whatever it is that you desire. When you reject it, you say no to it. And protection is to actually put a protective wall, to put protection, to care for it, to nurture it. So rejection and protection. Now, today's topic, is just like God, who's our Father. And God loves us. So God has this unconditional love for us, and he only wants the best for us in our lives. Now, normal parents who have children, who love their children, only want the best for them in their lives. So, in saying that, if you're a parent and you have children, there are going to be times that you make decisions that aren't favorable to those children. If you truly love your children, if you're a parent and you give your child, everything they desire and you always say yes to everything, you're doing your child a disservice as opposed to helping your child. If you're a parent that really truly loves your child, you're going to make some decisions based on their lives that isn't necessarily going to be that to them favorable. They're going to look at those situations and they're going to say, oh man, does my mom suck? At those times, they might say, oh, my mom, I can't stand her. That's perfectly fine. Oh, my dad, he just thinks that, he knows everything. That's perfectly fine. But if you're a parent and you truly love your child, there are going to be times that you make decisions that they aren't going to like. Now, so is our Father who's in heaven, because we are his children. And sometimes he makes decisions that to us, we're saying to ourselves, oh man, I really desired this woman. I really wanted this job. I really wanted this promotion. I should have more money in my account based on the things that based on some of the things that I've done in life. Based on how my life's set up, I should have more money in my account. This is our thinking. But when we truly understand that we believe and trust in God, and we have a God that we believe in, and he is our Father, he's going to be just the same. He is going to make decisions just the same as our earthly parents make decisions if they truly love us. And more so with God, because his love is truly unconditional. So there's going to be some times he says no to Jonathan. And in some of those times when he says no, in my humanness, I am going to look at it because I have this human desire. I have this human nature that's sometimes it's in alignment with God's desires. Sometimes it's not. And whenever my humanness is in alignment with what God desires for me, sometimes I don't think that is favorable. Sometimes he says no. And I fight tooth and nail, especially when it comes to human beings. Especially when it comes to people. There are times, listen, I've been in situations where I've had what I thought were friends, and, I wanted them to fit into, my circle. Here I am trying so desperately and so hard to fit this square figure into this round circle. And by any means, man, if I have to cut the corners off of that square, I am trying desperately to fit that square into this round circle. And God is saying no. And I'm fighting it tooth and nail. And for the life of me, I just cannot figure out why. Because see, there have been some people that God does not desire to take them in the direction, or they're not a part of, the direction I'm going. They're not a part of my destiny. They're not. And here I am, in my humanness, I'm attached to these people because in my humanness, I have all of these emotions. I'm composed of these emotions and I feel a certain way. And I say it all the time. First of all, feelings aren't facts. And I'm saying in my mind, like, this person has been the best person I've ever met in my entire life. See, God is smarter than I am. He said that my thinking is like filthy rags. If you know anything about filthy rags, man, that is the most filthiest thing that you can possibly imagine. He equates it to, that a woman's menstrual cycle, the pad that a woman uses during that time of the month. That's how he views my thinking in accordance or in comparison to the way he thinks. He knows way better than I know. But there's something inside of me in my humanness that says that, no, Jonathan, you know better. I know better for me. So here I am fighting tooth and nail, holding on to this person, holding on to this woman. Some of you women holding on to this man because they've done some things that at one time may have been spectacular. So I'm holding on to those memories and those moments, and see, he's elevated me, or he's trying to elevate me. And some of those individuals that I thought were great people or did some great things at one time in my life, that, these people are solid. These people are meant to travel along my travel destiny. These people are a part of my destiny. And God is saying no. And for the life of me, man, it blows my mind. I'm confused. I desire these people. Rejection and protection. Sometimes we view being rejected from a negative place. And sometimes that rejection is the best thing that has ever happened in my life. Once I'm able to come to a place that I'm able to accept it. As long as when I stop fighting it. Sometimes that rejection is God's protection. For the life of me and my humanness, man, that doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. See, that's how much God loves each and every one of us. He loves us so much until he can see the wolf in sheep's clothing. He can see that, I left my house at 5:30 in the morning and I should reach my destiny at 8:30. But for some odd reason, this morning, I'm delayed. I'm behind in my schedule. What I think is to be my schedule. I know better. So here it is. It's 5:30 and I'm running late, and I'm looking at my watch and I'm saying, oh my God, man, I'm going to be late. I am going to be late. And here it is. Here it is. It's 6:30. I'm an hour behind my regular scheduled program. And that hour saved my life because I left my house an hour later than I normally leave my house. And there was this horrific, horrible accident at a certain point during the normal day travel that I usually travel this distance and I take this route. And today there was this horrible accident in my normal route. I didn't see it. God saw it. God saw it. He loves me that much that he knows better. And here it is. I did not get entangled in that accident. Have I gotten entangled in that accident? I might be one of those people that perished and that passed away. See, sometimes God says no. The way he operates, some things I'm just not going to understand. The way he moves, the way he functions, it's sometimes it's just, I don't get it. He works, when they say God works in mysterious ways, he works in mysterious ways on purpose. Because if I knew everything and if I understood everything that God was doing, trust me when I tell you, I would mess it up. I'd mess it up. Sometimes God's rejection is our protection. Some of us has been chasing certain women, and for the life of us, listen, I got a bank account, I pay my rent on time, I got a place to live, I keep food in my fridge, I make a certain amount of money, I make a certain income yearly, and I'm the perfect guy for this relationship. And here it is, we have been chasing this woman forever. And we're looking at it and we're saying to ourselves, I know this guy that this woman was talking to, or this woman was, was interested in. And this guy can't even fit my boxers. How in the heck is it that here I am, I got all my I's dotted and my T's crossed, and this woman will not give me the time of day? Blows our mind. Unbeknownst to us is that if God allowed us, because it's not, see, in every situation, it's not so much that a person's a bad person or that people are bad people. They're just not the right fit for us. And here it is. Had God allowed us to get in that relationship, right? Because everything has been at peace. See, we've been doing well. Nothing to complain about. And here it is. We got in this relationship and this woman finally said yes. And all hell breaks loose. And now we're crying. God, please get me out of this one. I'll never do it again. I swear. I promise you. We're going nuts. When we had all the peace in the world, nothing was wrong, but we insisted upon this particular individual in our lives. And now that this person, God said, okay, all right, you can have her. You can have him. Okay, cool. And we get involved with that individual and our lives are hell. And for the life of us, we cannot figure it out. See, with a lot of us, what happens with a lot of us is that we compromise our peace. We compromise our solitude. We compromise being in a position that there aren't any major issues in our lives. We compromise that. We look at being lonely and desperate. Lonely and desperate will allow you at times to look beyond the red flags. We will ignore all of the red flags when we're dealing with people. Loneliness and desperation will have you compromise all your peace fact that you have no issues right now will have you compromise that. And out of loneliness and desperation, you'll compromise it and you'll ignore the red flags because they're there. There aren't too many people that we deal with that we don't see issues prior to being involved with these people. But out of loneliness and desperation, we compromise. We compromise our lives, our peace. And we say, you know what? Maybe, okay. But, the fact that they snore, the fact that she doesn't like to pay her bills on time, the fact that, he doesn't work a lot. But I can deal with that. It'll be okay. And man, here it is, a month, 5 months, 6 months down the line, and we're pulling our hair out. In my case, I don't have any hair, so I don't have to necessarily worry about pulling my hair out. But listen, we are pulling our hair out. A month, 5 months, 6 months down the line, we're going nuts. Because the red flags were there and we ignored them out of loneliness and desperation. Here it is. We have all the peace in the world. We didn't have any major situations or issues going on in our lives at that particular time. And we compromise it and throw it all out the window. Now we're sitting here and all hell has broken loose. See, sometimes rejection is God's protection. See, we got free will. See, we can pray to God and God will answer our prayers. But see, at some point he says, you know what, man, listen, you got free will. You want to be stubborn, stiff-necked, hard-headed. Guess what? That woman or that man that I've been trying to protect you from, have at it. A month, 5 months, 6 months, sometimes longer. But at some point, we find out, was that a bad idea? Wow, that was the worst idea I've ever thought about. Trust me, I've been there, done that. And I'm pretty sure there are some women on the flip side of that's how they're viewing the situation. Man, messing with Jonathan, that was the worst idea I ever made in my life. And I've been on the other side of that as well. I've been in some situations where I said, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? Because all the signs were there. All the red flags were there. Compromised it. I ignored it. I'll be all right, man. She can cook. I'll be all right, man. She's cute. She has her real hair. Those are things that I treasure. Those are things that I desire. Those are things that I like about a woman. She has those. Woman toxic as hell. Listen, when we deal with people, in the very beginning, we meet their representative. Now, going forward and meeting their representative, we'd hope that at some point that their representative is close to the true person. The real them. But in most cases, man, we meet their representative, man. And in the very beginning, these people are nice. They're cooking for you. They're loving you. Some of you women, the man, he's opening the door for you. This is what we're doing when we meet their representative. Their representative is the perfect person, man. You couldn't have asked for anybody better. But man, oh man, down the line, when the true person shows his head, when the true person shows up, you're saying to yourself, man, I didn't sign up for this. What the hell is this? What happened? No, what happened was God had been rejecting them for a reason. She's been saying no for a reason. He's been saying no for a reason. He has not been responding to your text for a reason. She hasn't been taking your phone calls for a reason. going to be some jobs. It's going to be some jobs. I always tell you guys, I got my coffee here. You know, this is my coffee. There's going to be some automobiles that you want to purchase. Your credit lines up. You qualify for the loan to finance the vehicle, but something goes wrong. And in your mind, you're saying, man, that's minimal. That's small. I just can't for the life of me figure it out. Because once this situation is rectified, here it is, it's something else. And for some odd reason, things just does not align up with you purchasing this vehicle. God's rejection is our protection. Some of you have a certain home. You want that house. I don't care. It's on the perfect lot. It's the perfect color. You know, it has the perfect amount of bedrooms, bathrooms. You know, it's beautiful. But little that the realtor disclosed to you is that it's a flat roof. See, because you don't know anything about houses. You're just looking at the exterior. You're looking at how beautiful the home is. But the realtor didn't explain to you. He didn't say the part of the roof is asymmetrical, but then there's a part on the back that's a flat part. The roof is flat. So it's a flat roof. And what usually tends to happen with flat roofs is that when it rains, and here in South Florida, we go through a rainy season. And when it rains, the water just sits there unless you have a contractor that installed a way for that water to drain off of that roof. But if not, the water sits there, and over time, you develop a roof leak. See, hey man, the realtor's out to make a commission. Some realtors ain't gonna explain everything. If you salivating and slobbing out of the mouth over this home, some realtors ain't gonna just sit there and tell you the entire truth about this property. They trying to make a commission. See, and here it is in your humanness, right? Out of loneliness, out of desperation. You're doing your will, so you're saying, man, I gotta have this house, right? The realtor it didn't tell you any of these things. You didn't do any research. You didn't do any investigating, and before you know it, you have your checkbook out. Yeah, you qualify. The bank's already approved you. Now, here it is down the line. You purchase this home. The roof starts leaking. You are highly upset. You are angry. How did I get in this mortgage for that many years with this crap? Because God had been rejecting that situation forever. But your loneliness, your desperation to say, I'm a homeowner. Your desperation to say, look at me. Look what I've accomplished. Look what I've obtained. Desperation. And here it is. You're stuck in this 30-year mortgage. You have this home and the roof's leaking. You're trying to figure out, how did it happen? Hey, man, the realtor's job is to sell you the property, sell you the home, and to get their commission. God's rejection is our protection. Yes. Some of us are involved with some people that are friends, romantic relationships. It's time to walk away. It's time to walk away. You can see some of the signs are there. Some of you see, because one thing about it in life is darkness and light cannot coexist. If I walk into a room and I hit the light switch, the dark automatically dissipates. It disappears once I hit the light switch. Some of you, God has blessed you and done a mighty work in your life, has taken you to a different level, and you're trying to figure out why is it that some of those people I used to deal with are uncomfortable around me now? It seems like when I come around, they're talking amongst each other and ignoring me. They're rejecting you. They are rejecting who you are now. They're not comfortable with who you are now. They're not comfortable with what God delivered you from. And here it is. Here it is. You're desperate and you're lonely. And you're trying to fit that square peg in that round circle again. And it's just not fitting. It's time for some of you to walk away. God's rejection is our protection. But anyway, I appreciate everybody that tuned in to the JW Live show. It's beautiful. And like I always say, I love you guys. It's a pleasure. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. It's a beautiful, sunny, probably around 80 degrees here in South Florida today. So I'm enjoying it. I love it. I love it. So anyway, until next time, man, I love you guys. Peace.